Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're going over the Kutuzov and the new patch today, so let's start with the build. First point I take is priority target. You'll see that in the replay why. Next is Adrenaline Rush, a very powerful ability, especially for HE type cruisers. Superintendent next, just so I can have an extra smoke. And the next point, if you have to choose, I go for the inertial fuse, high explosive. And then I will get Concealment Expert. I can live without Concealment Expert. It definitely helps, but... And then finally, the next one I'm going to get is Demolition Expert, just for the extra fire chance. Going over to modules, very basic stuff. Main armaments, we get the Accuracy module. For the third one, I just get Damage Control, just because, well, there's nothing else to really pick from. I get the acceleration module because it helps you slow down faster, and also when your smoke runs out, you can get going faster. And finally, Concealment Expert. For consumables, I say that Repair Module 3, or Repair Party 2 and Smoke 2 is absolutely necessary. Defensive Fire, you could take Hydro. I personally like Defensive Fire because the Kutuzov has such great AA, even though it doesn't have the best range. So let's hop straight into the game then. So starting off, we're on Brothers, which is a good map for the Kutuzov. The first thing that I notice is I'm on the far east flank, and I see the island that's just south of Delta. So that's where I want to go. And so in chat, I say immediately, hey, going Delta. I didn't say everyone go to Delta. I just told them I'd do that. And sure enough, a lot of people roger up for this. And so I have a plan in place. I'm not just willy-nilly picking this side. And I specifically, this little island directly in front of me, I want to get behind it and then poke my head out around the edge of it and smoke. The reason being is it acts as kind of a natural torpedo wall, and it will keep any enemies that are trying to camp way back in their spawn area around, what is it, Charlie, that they have, and they won't be able to fire on me. Now, granted, the Kutuzov's guns are very low firing, very high velocity, so I'm not going to be able to fire over the island. But that's okay, that's not the intent. So we're moving up. It also gets us closer to the cap so that if any destroyers get spotted, I can help support RDDs. Unfortunately, this Leningrad here, who for some reason doesn't have the skin that the ship comes with on, doesn't want to go in the cap. He just wants to kind of sail around it. Incoming planes. It is only a tier 6 carrier. I'm not too worried about it. The AA on the Kutuzov is surprisingly very powerful. So I definitely manually select the incoming planes. If you don't know when you manually select, even if you don't have the manual AA fire captain talent, it does give a bonus to the DPS, not the range, but the DPS that your AA will do on that target only. So beyond the extra DPS, why else is it useful? Well, so you see the fighters that are fighting right over, they're within my AA range. I want my AA to focus on these torpedo bombers. And here you see situational awareness telling me that I'm being targeted. I am going to take a torp, whatever, that's okay. Pop smoke, hit my repair, I'm untouchable now. So let's start opening up. The nice thing that did is, yes, I did take some damage, but I'm safe, right? Nothing can shoot at me. And as you can see kind of on the angling, you can even see just in the corner there, there's the smoke screen there. You just barely saw it. The DD is over there. Now, he didn't quite poke his head into Delta here, and there's the smoke screen, so he's not capping. But he does not have a line of fire for his torpedoes to hit me. Plus, because I have the acceleration module, I can quickly back up, back into behind this island if things get really bad. Trying to get the citadels on this New Orleans. I can get citadels from this range, and that carrier is just out of range. The Kutuzov does have amazing range to its guns. Very, very helpful especially considering how high the velocity of the guns are, you can be very accurate from even extremely long range at 18 or 19 kilometers out. Particularly against battleships. Battleships will have a very hard time hitting you at 18 or 19 kilometers. However, especially your run-of-the-mill average battleship will just herp-derp in a straight line, and they are very easy to hit from that kind of range. Get one little shot off on the New Orleans, set him on fire, he instantly repairs it, my smoke runs out, and I am not spotted. So let's start moving up. I know that destroyer was over there. I don't know if he still is. Okay, plane spotted, but again, nothing visible at least has a shot on me. New Orleans is coming back around, and he did use his repair, so I'd like to finish him off if at all possible. And there's our Benson. He has beached himself. I'm not sure if he's aware that he's beached himself, and I'm not sure if he's aware of how deadly the Kutuzov is to destroyers, especially when they're broadside and slowly backing up. So yeah, there's half of his life. We'll get one last parting shot before he gets back behind the island. In fact, yeah, no, he vanished behind the island. Okay, that's fine. Back to the New Orleans, who is firing HE at me. I am slightly angled, but honestly, I think he would do better job with AP. And all he's really doing at this point, oh hello Baird, is just increasing my reload rate. Really want that cruiser to die. I know that the other destroyer, manually select the planes there. I'm multitasking a lot here. So as much as I would like to finish off this Benson, we'll get a couple parting shots. That Byron is coming around the corner at us, so I pop my smoke. Try and guess where the Benson is. Yeah, that Byron definitely was coming after me. I knew because of situational awareness that I was targeted. Plus he's in close range, so he is going to definitely take a lot of damage from me before and he's already turning off, before he can get back behind that island and into safety. I have set 2 fires on him. That's going to make him pop his repair. A couple torpedoes go harmlessly by, because once again I've put an island in between me and that destroyer. Okay, so he put his fires out. Let's just try and get as much damage into him before he skirts back behind there. I don't think that fire is going to stick. No, it does not look like it is. Oh well. So the really nice advantage to this is, so the captain challenge and the modules on the ship and the ship itself really have this nice synergistic effect. So let's start off with the build that we have. Adrenaline Rush is a fantastic ability. Here again, I'm half health. That means I've got about a 10% reload buff. Now, you could get that same reload buff permanently at 10% for 3 captain points. However, for 2 captain points, it starts at 0, but the more you lose, the more reload speed that you regain back. So at half health, I am now at 10%. So what does that mean? Well, for 2 points, I now have the potential to break that 10% reload buff. So we'll say, you know, you've lost 3/4 of your life. Well, guess what? You have a 15% reload buff now. It doesn't seem like much. Like, the default reload on the Kutuzov, I believe, is 8 seconds. And it'll get you, I think by the end of this game, we get down to like 6.5 or something like that. But watch how often I'm shooting. And you can kind of tell looking at the beginning of the video and at the very end, the difference on how fast I can pump out shells. And then each salvo does a chunk of damage. And over the long course of a game, especially if you plan on surviving towards the end, it really lends itself to increasing your overall DPS. So Adrenaline Rush is great. I think it's a bargain at 2 points. There's very few ships that I don't take it on, just because it's a general catch-all. That's just, it kind of works on everything. It also works on torpedoes. So for your destroyers, sometimes it can be good. For cruisers like this and like the British cruisers and things like that that may use their torpedoes fairly often, it does help them. Next is we have the IFHE. So if you watch my other Kutuzov video or watched other people's, the Kutuzov is an absolute fire-starting monster, or at least it was in the previous patch. And that dodge. Anyhow, I was getting close up to, I think, about 20% fire chance. Well, right now with IFHE, I think I'm sitting at maybe 12, and it's very noticeable how few fires. But we'll wait until we see the end score screen and really kind of tell. Now, here's a trap that a lot of people fall into, is broadside battleship. I'm just going to keep spamming HE. Watch how much this does. You cannot do that with IFHE. Now, as soon as he starts angling again, now watch this. Nothing. So if they're giving you broadside, IFHE really is still not like the go-to. Like, you don't just spam HE indiscriminately. If you really want to do the most damage, you really do need to switch to AP when targets give you full broadside, especially at closer range. Like, this Atago is kind of weaving and dodging and everything, so I don't really bother a whole lot. But the IFHE, there's plenty of guides out there. It reduces your fire chance, but it adds a lot of penetration, so it really is noticeable. And you can see it in this game, especially against battleships, that the sheer HE damage that you do increases. At the same time, it reduces the number of fires by 3%. So it's a give or take. I'm really looking forward to getting a couple more Captain Talents on this and pick up Demolition Expert, which will give me 2%. That still's not going to get me anywhere close to what it was in the previous patch. However, it will at least negate the negative side of IFHE. It'll give me a net loss of 1% chance to fire, which is really negligible. Here, the Atago has beached himself broadside, and I will finally switch to AP because, well, he's a stationary target and that's somewhat easy to hit. I don't think I'm going to get that kill, though. Got incoming planes, going to manually select them. Fortunately, don't shoot any down before they drop, but we'll get a few off before they get back into safety. Scharnhorst comes in, got a Nagato also coming in. So I've got an island up ahead. We're going to use that to help block some of the shots from the Nagato. Angle at the Scharnhorst, he didn't have much to shoot at me because he already took his shot, pop shot at me. So I don't want to give him broadside. Took a little bit of damage. Gonna go ahead and pop my smoke here, and there's a Cleveland behind him, and there's a destroyer and another destroyer. So we've got ourselves a little cornucopia right here. Our New Orleans is way overextended. Granted, he didn't know this was all coming. He has popped radar. I need to try and take advantage of that and try my best to take out these destroyers. The first one dies to the New Orleans, and good for him. The second one, okay, his radar must be off because he disappeared, but the Hatsuhara freaked out and came out of his own smoke. I think he's as good as dead. I do have to be wary because he does have long-range torps, but I'm thinking that those torpedoes are his. Don't know. Oh, nope, there's his torpedoes. Okay, he did kill the New Orleans. We must avenge him. He gives broadside. Bam. The broadside doesn't do anything other than give me a bigger target. I was having a hard time hitting him while he was weaving and dodging, and he was doing it very effectively. I would like to get some fires in the Scharnhorst. He is the biggest threat, and he's also, both of these Scharnhorsts are kind of YOLO charging each other. I really don't want to lose my Scharnhorst if they can all be helped. He is angled, so I'm using the HE, and you can see even with the angled, I'm doing very good damage to him. Torps are going to kill him. I stopped firing at him. Let's switch over to the Cleveland. Cleveland is somewhat tanky. He's bow on, and IFHE just does not care. Because of the extra penetration value, it just punches straight through what little armor he does have. Cleveland is dead. I got the kill for that. And now we have to deal with the Nagato. So he's not targeting me, which is good. So we're just going to start moving along. And the Scharnhorst dies to the carrier. And now we are targeted by the Nagato. So again, going way back, this island, which was the plan from the get-go, is we're going to use that as cover. We got a little lucky there. We could have really gotten lit up if his shot had been a little bit better. But then again, I was kind of pulling away, and I don't think he was anticipating that. Just going to use this island. I do have a couple teammates behind me. I would love to become invisible like I am right now and make him start thinking about and aiming his guns at other people, because then that will buy me time as I come back around this corner and continue my barrage. And again, less than half health. I'm probably at about third health now, and you can really see that adrenaline rush kind of kicking in and how fast I can fire now. It really is starting to make a difference. And because I have IFHE, really, like, he's trying to kind of angle, but I'm not firing AP at him. I'm firing HE at him. So his angling isn't going to do anything to me. Plus, he's also showing the softer aft armor that the battleships have. Their bow armor, while not particularly thick, is normally a little bit thicker than the front. Sometimes it's the same, but you're going to have better luck if you go after the aft. There's some fires, that's going to stick. He did get another shot on me. Not too worried about it. He's panicking and pulling a hard turn. Now his guns are nowhere even close to pointed to me. Now's the time to just finish this guy off. Just pouring on the damage. And again, took another shot, so you can see the reload is just getting really, really fast. And at this point, now it's really kind of obvious, like, holy crap, look how fast the reload is now. Easily take him out. Nice. Alright, well, all that's left is to hunt down that carrier. The IFHE, I don't know if they intended for ships like this, the Kutuzov, the Belfast, the Atlanta, these cruisers, premium cruisers, that I thought before the patch, before IFHE, were exceptionally powerful. And now they have gotten, we'll use the word almost obscene. The Kutuzov and the Belfast in particular are just monstrous because of their smoke. And I don't have a flint, nor will I ever, because I don't do the rank scene. I have a life. And I imagine that the flint also equally really has become a monster with this build. The Atlanta has also definitely gotten a real buff. It still has a little bit of problems penetrating certain targets, but the buff has definitely helped. And I'm not really sure any of these ships needed any help or any kind of buffs. There's the Kraken, ends the game. So how'd we do? We got 1.2 million credits. High caliber Kraken, Confederate, 196,000 damage total. And that's why I say I'm not really sure if it needed buffing. We got 3,037 base XP, almost double of anyone else in the team. And then here's the interesting thing. The numbers are almost flipped. I only got 22,000 damage in fires, and the vast majority of it was just straight HE damage. And it used to be almost the exact opposite before IFHE. So that's really kind of changed the dynamic. So I'm really not sure if IFHE or Adrenaline Rush are going to get nerfed for the time being. Kutuzov and the Belfast too have just gotten even more powerful. Have a good one. We'll see you next time, folks.